Noon. I think the topic of today's session is quite vast, and it would be much better if we interact very often. Initially, I intend to mention some of the things which are in the offing, but not even for a moment we have the feeling that we are right up there where we should have been. There have been so many efforts, all are progressing well, but the kind of universalization of knowledge, international participation for knowledge creation and knowledge dissemination, and the diverse spectrum which the knowledge itself encompasses, all have to be rolled into one, which perhaps is a very, very challenging task, not only for this country, but for all the countries of the world put together. It is in that perspective that we intend to discuss some of the things which are happening and some of the initiatives that need to be taken, either by the governments or by the peer groups and communities of experts. It has to be a collaborative endeavor of one and all, whoever has an intelligent mind. That is the responsibility of one and all for the future generations. In about 5 or 7 minutes, I intend to just recapitulate and put into perspective what all has been going on and how governments have been trying to approach the problem. Many of us are aware of the governmental efforts of the central government in India. And why these efforts? What is at the core of it? Why are we talking of international collaboration? Why are we talking of diverse cities? The one-liner, if I may say so, and I am not the authority on it, not even for a moment, but what comes to my mind, is that everyone wants that no talent should be allowed to go underutilized in any nation. It is the collective brain power in this knowledge society that our world will progress, become more prosperous. If this is the aim, then this one line speaks volumes. How do we ensure? Where is the talent? How do we identify it? How do we groom it? How do we certify it? Use it for the prosperity of nations? If we start from this, we may come to a virtuous spiral where we will need time and again for the learners the motivation, awareness, guidance, and hand-holding. This will continue time and again, and that is how the whole datum level of knowledge and its utilization will rise. Technology is playing a very major role. And what it does, it provides us the multiplier effects in GER, gross enrollment ratio, quality enhancement efforts, ameliorating teacher shortage, which everywhere we find, taking care of working population and its need for knowledge through anytime, anywhere mode teaching and learning environment, teacher empowerment, because whatever human resource we get for teaching learning processes, unless that is fine-tuned and kept at the highest level of its potential, the learning for the students will be lacking. If we are thinking of the technology, the digital literacy spread through voluntary actions, countrywide classrooms, spoken tutorials are some of the things that come to our mind. Of course, there is a national mission on education through ICT, which is a 4,612 crore rupee mission. We are in the final year of that mission. We hope that the mission will also continue during the 12th plan. But for those of you who may not be aware of what are the components, I will just repeat the components. You can see that each of the components is reverberating with the ideas like diversification of the content and international collaboration for content creation. While I am mentioning about these initiatives, let me also say that funding under this mission is available on each of these items. They are only a summary of what is possible. The first item is e-content, which should be free for every learner. And when I say every learner, it is not only learners in India, anywhere in the world. So direct relevance is to open access and open source materials, which should get generated. And how does it get generated? Unless there is international participation, many of us would be reinventing the wheel. And actually, humanity will not progress in that fashion. Yes, whatever is already protected or has commercial implications, that apart, nobody questions that those IPs should also be made available free of cost. But for those who wish to share, this open source movement will come in very handy for the international cooperation, participation, and naturally that will add diversity to the range of subjects and the approaches that could be followed for the content. What we have been doing is, under the national program on technology enhanced learning, many of you would be knowing about it. There are about 250 semester courses available. They are on the web, they are on the YouTube, and today they cover about 9 engineering disciplines. We have sanctioned projects for 1,050 more semester courses. Even with these 250 courses under NPTEL, the total number of hits in about a year or year and a half time has exceeded 46 million. And these hits are not coming only from India, they are coming from around the globe. That shows that apart from the supply side, where we need to collaborate and create content with diversity, there is a strong pull side also, the demand side also. And it is this demand side which will compel us to have diversity. The contents that should get created should not be a scanning of the lecture notes, not even for a second. What we intend to do and what we have been doing is a 4-quadrant approach, where not only the lecture notes, the videos, but animations, simulations, other websites around the world, and self-testing and motivational modules will also be needed. Who will create this? The community of experts. Not a single expert is either acceptable to the community, or it is not within the realms of possibility of a single person covering the entire gamut of that discipline. So it has to be a collaborative approach, a wiki kind of approach, where the community rises and says, for the learners of this discipline, it is this community which takes charge, takes the responsibility. Obviously, when we say that, the